She was taking the team when you left the school, is that right?
Yeah.
You left for a year, or you quit the team.
The second year that I played, this was after this all happened, a lot of my friends supported me and people believed me. It wasn't like I was shunned out of the school, and we had a new coach, but the coach was best friends with him, and it was really hard for us to play for her. I mean, there was so much stuff going on, and about 9 of the girls and 2 coaches walked away and quit.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I definitely know what you're going through. It was with my coach, but it was with my shop teacher. He would get me and my friend and lock us in the classroom and talk about our breasts, talk about how he wanted us to stay all day. And we complained. My mom and my dad both complained to the school people, and all they said was that he was on a 10-year contract. And they could not get rid of him. So I had to literally, because my life was going downhill, I had to literally change schools. And and this is when I was in 8th grade, and it still to this day is affecting me because I can't trust anybody.
Well, you know, and that's part of, I think, the understanding that some of the people in this audience who cannot seem to or don't want to understand, people at home don't want to understand. It's hard to live or to make an assumption of what someone should do unless you have the same set of values and things that brought you up to come to this decision. It's really hard to figure it out. And in your case, Holly, I mean, this played on your mind. Yeah, deeply. You ended up attempting what?
Suicide.
Suicide. You were so upset not being able to talk to somebody that you were willing to take your own life rather than put him through what he would have to go through for doing what he was doing?
Well, he told me before twice that if I told anyone he could lose his job. And I cared about him, and I thought he loved me, and I didn't want to risk his job, but I just felt so overwhelmed with guilt. And I thought that if it didn't stop, eventually it would have led to sex, and I just couldn't live with that.
And Cheryl, what was going through? Now, you still didn't know anything. No. Your daughter's in school. You took an overdose of pills, aspirin and other things.
Yes, sir.
And you're called at home.
Yes.
Your daughter's being rushed to the hospital.
Yes.
What went through your mind?
We were devastated because we had no idea.
But you didn't know why she did this at this point.
Well, actually, a teacher had called me the day before. She had confided in one of her high school teachers for about 8 months about this, and she never told anyone. And she called me at home and said she had something to tell me. And she said, you need to sit down. And Holly is an honor student, and she's an athlete at school, and very light, you know, and I thought everything was going fine. And I said, well, what's the problem? And she said that it seems that Holly's having a relationship with a coach at school. And she said that she has told me 2 days prior to our phone conversation she was going to try to commit suicide. And she said, I don't know if she's going to do that. I don't know if, you know, she said out of anger, but I am worried about her. And so immediately after the phone call, I called the coach. And I told him I wanted to meet with him. And he said, about what? I said, about Holly. Now, you have to understand, he was not teaching Holly this year. It was the year prior to that. He never asked me, well, why do you want to meet with me? You know, and he said, well, okay, when? And I said, right now. And he said, well, I can't meet you right now. And I said, you tell your wife whatever you want to tell her. You're going to meet me right this minute. He says, okay. And so we set up a meeting place, and we met, and I discussed this with him. I told him I had received a phone call from an adult because she didn't want me to reveal her name. And, I mean, we talked about it, and he did not deny it. He didn't admit to everything, but I didn't know everything at the time. I just knew bits and pieces. And he told me he was just flattered that a beautiful 15, 16-year-old girl would find him attractive.
So he turned it around as if this 15, 16-year-old was putting the moves on him.
Yes.
What happened to this man? He is still teaching.
Yes.
At the same school.
Yes.
And coaching.
Yes.
They gave him a 30-day suspension.
Yes.
He served that suspension, and he's back on the team. What happened to you?
I quit school my senior year.
And what did all the people in school say to you about what you had done? You were wrong.
Well, the football players found out. We were told from a coach, and I just couldn't go back to school. They were all putting me down, and because they were upset.
And harassed because you got the coach in a little bit of trouble.
Right.
So you had to quit school and you went on to get your high school diploma from a community college?
Yes, sir.
Is something wrong here with this picture?
Yes.
I think most definitely. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're going to meet a young woman who had an affair with her teacher and ended up marrying that teacher. But now, wait, this took place at your school, did it not, Becky? It was a teacher at the same school that you went to. And it happened 10 years before. They have since spoken. You'll find out what happened to her when we come back. We'll be back right after this.
We see how many bacon ultimate cheeseburgers can be eaten in an hour.
That's right, Bobby. With 8 pieces of bacon, they'll have their hands full. Oh, Mike is stunned. That's gonna cost him valuable time. Elroy has blissed out on the cheese.
Mom, nobody
And
said nothing about
Tyrell
no 2-quarter-pound patties.
just didn't come prepared.
I'm talking about the
So the record stands. The most bacon ultimate cheeseburgers eaten in an hour is still
1.
When in the New York area, why not be part of our studio audience? Do you have a personal story you'd like to share with us? Call Montel's answering machine at 1-900-9...
Yes, ma'am, you had a question.
Yeah, clearly this is boundaries. You know, I think the teachers are definitely out of line, but I do have a question for the first young lady.
Becky, huh?
And Becky, why didn't you tell your mom first and then go to the school board or whoever it was that, you know, you first told the story to? And it's twofold. Also, Mom, maybe you should have taken a lawyer because people seem to take things a little more seriously when you get the law on your side.
And I think right now, I'll answer the second half. Marie, the law is on your side now. You do have a lawyer. But again, Becky, I mean, and you can see this. I know you can sense this yourself, and you should be able to sense this, that people in the audience have questions. Even at 15, and you can tell me how naive you were, but I know you're not more naive than your peers and the other people in that school. You knew this man had sex with you. Yeah. So when the first time happened, why did you not say something then? Step up and say, I just slept with my teacher. And I say it because I think you need to answer that question for them. Answer that question for the audience.
Why I didn't say anything? Well, it happened in a really short period of time. I didn't have time to go and talk to anybody, and I didn't feel like I had anybody to go to.
Hold on. All right, here we go. Everybody's all ready to, like, cut this young lady off at the knees, but I want to go back and say again, remember, we all come to things from different places in our lives. And I don't know what your entire background is from childbirth to adult age, but this is a young girl who was molested by her grandfather, correct? Grandfather told her, don't tell. Now, he's a person in authority, and anybody can say what all you want. I've dealt with a lot of people who are victims of child molestation, and what she did is just the same type of acting out, because the next person that had sex with her said, don't tell. In her mind, if you want me to do this like a psychologist would do if we had one on the show right this minute, they will come out and tell you that she reverted back to the same 5-6-year-old girl that she was when her grandfather molested her and said, don't tell, yes, don't tell. That's what happened. You can say what you want, but that's what happened. Yes, ma'am.
Do they understand that an athlete, Becky is an athlete, she's played ball since she was in the 5th grade, she's a tomboy, and she would do anything for her coach. This same coach, 2 weeks before all of this took place, she was playing in a basketball game. She broke her hand and played and dribbled with the other hand because he asked her to do it. She had a cast put on her hand. He cut it off for her to play in the next game. She does what he asks her because he's her coach. She respects him.
And
he needed her. The team needed her.
I'm still seeing all these heads go back and forth like this, but I will tell you, if I ran to one of the heads shaking like this, and I asked you, were you molested by your grandfather when you were 5 years old, you will say no. If I go to one of the heads that's doing like this and ask you if you were abused as a child, you'll say no. So the issue is you don't know where her brain was. So for a second, stop and realize that this is a child who was a child. And there's issues that you have to deal with. I don't know if you ever went to counseling over her molestation as a child.
No, she didn't. And to the man who says, why didn't you stop or say something to him after 3 times? She stopped it. There wasn't a 4th. She stopped it herself.
Yes. Yes. Okay, wait a minute. Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Holly.
In her situation, I don't care if she would have gone to him and stripped off her clothes and begged him to have sex with her. He, as an authority, has a job to do.
Correct.
And he has to draw that boundary himself, and he has to respect that boundary.
Well, I think nowadays, though, we have heard so much about victims and that no one wants to accept a person as being a victim in America. And if our children can't be victims when adults abuse their position, we are really a sad group of people. This is a sad commentary. I'm going to tell you that right now. Sad commentary in America. children don't have a right. I mean, our children do not have to make adult decisions. We're looking at this from an adult eye. We need to look at this from the eye of a child, and also look at it from the eye of a child who was abused. She was the perfect setup. I will tell you that as I sit here. If I, as her teacher, or anybody, any man as her teacher, knew that she was molested as a child, got a sense of it, and she sends out those signals with the nice little droopy eyes, and I'm so sad, and I'm looking to a man that'll help me, who's my coach, and my coach is there, and I'm always holding on to the coach for more assistance and more assistance, like I'm holding on to Jerry, who we need to welcome to the show. Welcome, Jerry, to the show. I need that man. A man who's a coach who's seen little girls come and go, can read you like a book. He knew this is a perfect mark and went right in for the kill. And he nailed it. Boom. Now what are we gonna do? We're gonna sit here as adults and try to nail her too and say, you should have been smarter. I don't know. I'm looking back at her right now and I'm thinking about a grandfather who put the nail in the board then. That's the reason, okay? Jerry, we gotta get your story. Jerry was 17, I'm gonna take a break, but Jerry was 17 years old. She started sleeping with her former teacher. This man is another man who played her. Played. You wanna know about being played? Man was sleeping with all kinds of students in the school. Found her, figured this might be the one that might talk. So instead of having her talk, I'm gonna get her to graduate early. Graduate early, baby, because you're not gonna talk. You know I love you, only you. Matter of fact, when you graduate early, I want you to marry me. Only you. We'll leave the school because the school will get a little mad about it. We'll go teach somewhere else, and only you have my children. Prove how much you love me while I'm still sleeping with other students. Take a break. We'll find out what happened when we come back. We'll be back later.
Car insurance. Everyone says...
A teacher who's supposed to be an authority figure. I just told you what happened to Jerry when she was younger, 17 years old. You're sleeping with this man in school. You knew he had other girlfriends in school. Why? Why did you decide to go ahead? You were going to be the... What made you think you were so special for him?
These people are perfect mind game players. They come up to you, they tell you how wonderful you are. They wait for a vulnerable period in your life when you're having trouble at some point. They come, they get your confidence. They steal all your confidence away. They come up, they tell you that you're special, that you're great, and this and that. And then they just move in, they start touchy-feely, you know, and they just move in with a little bit of physical contact, but it's mostly a mental confidence that they're building in you. And then all of a sudden, it's not like this is just a silent personal rape. They come up and they mentally rape you. They tell you, you can't tell anyone this is going on. You're going to ruin my life if you tell anybody. I'll lose my job. My future will be over. My life will end if you tell on me. You are so wonderful. You mean so much to me. They will build you up and then they will tear you down. They will build you up again and then they will tear you down again. You're so confused. You're so full of guilt. You don't know who to turn to, who can help you, or which way to go.
Trust. And if you go to another teacher, you go to another teacher, and the teacher keeps it quiet for a year, doesn't even report it.
In most cases, you don't go to these people for their confidence, for their hope, or, you know, needing them. They come to you. They track you down. They find you.
Exactly. You know, and I go back. I'm going to explain this again because I got to go to another break here. But remember, these are people who have watched children develop. They play this. Most of the people who are molesting children as teachers are not that first-year guy out of college. They're not the ones that do it. They've been around for 5 or 6 years. They have been able to watch 8th grade, 9th grade girls develop. They know what button to push. You are a prepubescent, 9th grader, and all of a sudden puberty hits. He knows the compliment to give you because he knew he's tried it out 5 years in a row. Now he's got a sucker, and he can see the little Christian girl. I'm sorry, I'll say it that way. I see the little girl. I know what buttons to push. I could probably tell you half the things he said to you without it, just sitting here for 5, telling you how pretty you were. The fact that you dress so dowdy. You're such a beautiful girl. You should open up a little bit so we can see your beauty. All those things that he says, and he's playing a mind game on this child. Exactly. Playing the mind game till he gets to the point that he can say, you know what, maybe this afternoon we ought to talk a little bit more. Maybe this afternoon. The next thing you know, the hand, I'm sorry, the hand goes here, the hand goes there. Next thing you know, bingo, bango, he's got you, hook, line, and sinker. And Holly said the poignant thing. She knew what this was going to lead to. And instead of dealing with it with another adult that she couldn't trust, she tried to take her life. A lot of young girls in these schools out here today that are scared to death and don't know what to do. I think we ought to, at least, if we don't have sympathy for any victims in America, have sympathy for the children that are victims, because children can't say no. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to meet a woman who is fighting to make student-teacher relationships, no matter what the age, a crime. That's what it should be in America today. We'll talk about it when we come back. We'll be back right after this.
have a personal story you'd like?
Welcome to the show. You had a comment.
Quite naturally, I'm biased because Holly's my niece, but she's a wonderful young girl, and her childhood has been taken away from her. And sorry, I went to see her when she was in the hospital in psychiatric care, and she's lost so much because of what's happened. She was forced out of her school. She had to graduate from a community college, and she never got to go to her senior prom or to walk across the stage and receive a diploma.
But you know what? You know what? Rather than, I'm going to tell you this, Holly, and rather than look at it that way, just think about it this way. He couldn't beat you. So it may have been a rough road to get there, but you're back. You're back. You can rebuild all the things. And I hate to say that, you can rebuild the things that were lost. Prom is important, yeah. But you know what? At least you're here. Look at it that way. Don't think about the things that you lost. Please welcome, let me do this. Please welcome Terry to the show. She's working to change the laws so that this will be a crime, and I'm going to come back to you in a second. Thank you. Terry, what do you think about this?
First of all, the first thing I want to say is you girls deserve nothing but respect, applause, applause, applause. Because of these girls coming out and speaking about these things, they are saving that little MVP left in the schools. And MVP does not stand for most valuable player, ladies and gentlemen. It is the most vulnerable pupil. Okay?
That's right.
And these girls are my heroes.
So you're fighting right now to change this law nationally or just in the state of Nevada? That's where you're working as Nevada, right?
I'm starting in Nevada, and hopefully this may go federal if it's a possibility. I have written to my state senator, Mike McGinnis, who has given me permission to use his name. He has, in the process of drawing up a bill in Nevada to state that if a teacher, administrator, coach, or anyone in authority in a school system has sex with a student in school, regardless of age, it would be statutory sexual seduction.
Okay, you know, now, I mean, here's something that I wonder about, because people who find this crazy that we want a law like this, we just chased a senator out of office for inappropriate sexual behavior towards an employee because he utilized his position of authority to gain sexual advancement from women. Now, what is the difference between a senator that we force out of office, even though we didn't prosecute him, and a teacher who inappropriately uses his position of authority over a child who has been told by everybody, you better listen to what your teacher has to say. You better not buck the... And if you mess up, I'm going to tell you, we'll make life miserable for you. Now, how do we expect a child to deal with that on a day-to-day basis? If you come from inner city or you come from an area of the country where you know a little bit more about the world, it may be easier for you to handle. But if you're not from that kind of a setting, it's not easy. Yes, go ahead.
We're not here for pity, by the way.
No.
We're here to tell our stories, to make more younger women stronger, to open the eyes of parents, and to let these teachers know that we're not going to put up with it and that we're going to fight back.
Good. I'll tell you what we're doing. We'll take a break. And by the end of the show, we will put up a number for you if you're a young lady in school right now or a young male in school right now, and you're dealing with this issue from a teacher and you want it to stop and you don't know where to turn, call the number. You'll see it at the end of the show today. It's a hotline number. You can call that number today, and we'll make sure that somebody will answer the phone and point you in the right direction of how to get some help. We'll take a break. We'll be back right after this.
Happy Father's Day.
I love it. Happy Father's Day, honey. Hey, I love my shirt. I'm glad you like it. And I love you. What do you think?
Very nice, huh? At Ross, you'll find the perfect gift for Father's Day. Save up to 60% on the top men's brands.
Happy Father's Day.
I love it.
Father's Day? Yes.
Father's Day at Ross. Don't you just love it?
Are you the type of person who likes to be creative, to design it, and paid for by the following?
The Ocedar 2000 Twist and Mop has twice the absorbency.
Young ladies should look for right now. What do they do if something's going on? What do you think?
Well, you have a personal guard around you, and if anybody comes into that space, they're out of line. If they're telling you things that only a boyfriend, girlfriend, a husband, wife type person should share, they're out of line. Tell somebody, speak out, tell anybody. Go to your parents, tell them, make them understand. Make your parents go after them.
And parents, believe them. Believe them, because children don't make these things up. They're coming to you for your help. The other thing is is that as parents, we're mandated by law to send our children to school. We're paying their salaries.
That's correct.
We are paying their salaries. Are we going to pay them to molest our children?
I don't think so.
No, we can demand that they be fired and have their license revoked. And our laws say that in Nevada.
You know what? I'm completely out of time to say, join us on the next Montel show. Before I go, to all three of you ladies, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. You hold your head up.
That's right.
You did what you did. None of us walked in your shoes. But I will tell you now, don't let anybody now say that you did something wrong. It's behind you. Leave it there. Move forward. You can have a good relationship in your life now and not fear having a relationship with somebody who's an adult who can treat you like an adult. But hold your head up, okay? It doesn't matter what I think or anybody else thinks about what you did or what you did or what you did. Hold your head high. Get beyond it, okay? It's over now. Let's move on, okay? Join us on the next Montel One show.
Next on KNTV 11, get a complete look at news information for the South Bay on KNTV News at 5. And then at 6:30, join us for an hour of laughter on 2 back-to-back episodes of Home Improvement. It's all right here on KNTV 11.
The state age of consent law changed from 16 to 18. She's also trying to get a law on the books that will prohibit sexual conduct between any authority figure and a minor. Holly and Cheryl are currently waiting for a court date. Holly is still in counseling and says her appearance on the show has helped her regain her self-esteem and respect.